What's up, guys? It's Adam here, aka Anti-Cena Guy. To be honest, I'm a bit tired tonight, guys. I mean, I've had a long shift at work, and not only do I have a long full-time job, and I'm running a business, and I'm a very busy guy. But I like to do my hobbies aside that, and one of them is wrestling. You know. And I'm currently doing requests, pay-per-view requests. We're in Royal Rumble season. Royal Rumble 2024 is just around the corner. And I'll be getting a lot of requests, particularly Royal Rumble pay-per-view requests off many subscribers and people here on YouTube. Anyway, this one, Felushi2929, wanted me to review the Royal Rumble 2012. I don't know why I'm like, because this is not like a feel. It's more of like I'm a fucking retard type of feel, Because that's basically what this pay-per-view was. It was retarded, and it was so corny and so fucking childish. Gotta be the most uneventful, Fruit Looped fucking Royal Rumble I've ever fucking seen, man. It was in the PG era. To tell you the truth, I can't remember watching this pay-per-view back in the day. That probably explains it all. Probably because it was the most forgettable Royal Rumble, or maybe it was during the time I was taking a hiatus from WWE because of how fucking shit it was. But just after watching this pay-per-view moments ago so I could review it for my subscriber who requested this, it was during the time when I was embarrassed to call myself a wrestling fan, because if a normal person, this pay-per-view overall, before I get into it, if a normal person watched this pay-per-view, they'll be like, what the fuck are all these wrestling fans smoking, man? How the fuck can I find this entertaining? They're either fucking fruitcakes or the fucking retards, Especially in the Royal Rumble match when you got Mick Foley and Santina Marella fucking doing a test of strength with two socks, you know what I mean? But I'll get to that in just a moment. And excuse me, I've still got a bit of a cold. Fucking freezing here in the UK, people. Anyway, let's get on with this. In the first match, Daniel Bryan defeated The Big Show and Mark Henry in a steel cage match. To tell you the truth, there's been way better steel cage matches in the past for the World Heavyweight Championship. And this looked fucking awkward, man. I mean, you had two beasts, like Big Show and fucking Mark Henry. Two super heavyweights, and then you get a fucking shrimp Daniel Bryan. You know what I mean? Thrown into the equation in the middle of these two guys. It looked fucking weird. It's even more fucking loopy at the fact that Daniel Bryan won this match. I mean, for most of the match, he was hanging on to the Big Show. He wins the match by falling off the Big Show. I don't know, retarded. I know it's wrestling. We're not meant to take it seriously. It's all about storytelling. Anything can happen in wrestling. But come on, man. You got a shrimp like Daniel Bryan in a steel cage match with two fucking giants who are 10 times bigger than him, and Daniel Bryan wins by beating these guys in not just any type of match, a steel cage match. A steel cage match back in the day was supposed to be the most brutal, most vicious, most non-escapable circumstance matches in WWE history. And of course we got it here in the PG era, where a shrimp can fucking beat two giants in a cage. You know what I mean? Excuse me. So, yeah, a retarded match. To tell the truth, it was clearly obvious that Daniel Bryan was going to win this match, but it's wrestling for you, not just any wrestling, PG wrestling, So, move along. Then we get a phony John Cena propaganda fucking commercial. And this lasted like 15 minutes just to waste time for the pay-per-view. This was just to get you to like that faggot John Cena. Oh, John Cena's a great guy. He does charity. You know, big fucking deal. Loads of wrestlers do charity, you know. Why are you shoving this only one particular superstar down our fucking throats, you know? Why aren't you doing that with any other superstar? Why is it going to be John Cena? Well, John Cena was on this pay-per-view and, you know, he goes up against the most worst version of Kane in the mask, but I'll get to that later on. But this propaganda advert was supposed to make you like John Cena. It was more brainwashing bullshit about what John Cena does for charity and how he stands up against bullies and people who are trying to put him down and trying to send out a good message to the fans saying, you need to look up to this guy, you know, he's your saviour. Kiss my ass, John Cena. You know, 15 minutes this nearly lasted, so this is supposed to be a pay-per-view that people paid for, and they're watching the same shit that they've been watching for a long time. So then we get a 4-on-4 Diva tag match. Beth Phoenix team versus Kelly's team. Beth Phoenix team won, you know, and I love women, you know, and I love Beth Phoenix. I love the ass on Kelly. Although she does like the worst stink faces of all time, you know, she doesn't even do a wedgie, not like Tori Wilson, but Beth Phoenix team won, and you know, and this was like a cheap match that you'd see on WWE Superstars, you know what I mean? I mean, for a pay-per-view, we're expecting something better than this, but it was nice to see all the women, you know, showing off their bodies and all that in PG fashion, but come on, man, it's a pay-per-view, you know. You expect to see something different than, you know, a WWE Superstar Raw or SmackDown quality type of Divas match. I mean, that's what they did with the Divas being the PG era. They used to stick them in random tag team matches, sometimes 10 Diva tag team matches, just to give them something to do, and, you know, just to give them something to do, and it was really kind of sad, but, again, so, yeah, this match sucked. Oh, I'm talking about sucking. Kane versus John Cena, which ended in a double count-out. This is when Kane made his comeback as the Demon. You know, when Kane made his comeback in the mask, I was like, fuck yeah. Kane's going to get the push he deserved, you know. Ever since he unmasked, although he had some kind of push and he was involved in some dramatic storylines, we're finally going to see Kane get the push he deserves. And what better way to kick off his push by going after the #1 poster boy of the company, John Cena, the face of the PG era. You know, and that's what he did. But of course they fuck it up. I mean, it did happen on this pay-per-view, but somewhat down the line, Cena ended up defeating Kane. I think it was in an ambulance match. You know, and I was like, what a fucking waste, man. I mean, what a way to bring back Kane in the mask, and, you know, and you fuck up, you know, what could have been something really special. Because it's John Cena, you know, John Cena's always going to be the winner. He's always going to be the one who overcomes the fucking odds. And that's what happened in this match. There was loads of botches, and, you know, Kane was trying to make a convincing move by suffocating people with his hand, you know, he used to put his, like, hand on people's faces, you know, trying to suffocate them, whatever. He did a terrible tombstone in this match on Zack Ryder, you know, where he tombstoned Zack Ryder in the ring, and his head was like that far off the ground, you know, so that was poorly done. So yeah, there was a lot of botches in this match, and again, nothing really happened in this match. Like I said, there was botch after botch, and it ended in a double count out so they could continue the feud on another different pay-per-view. But what a fucking waste, man. I mean, it would have been much more easier if Cena would have won by disqualification, you know, by making Kane a badass by busting Cena open. But, oh, I fucking forgot. It's a PG show. PG. Can't have that on today's fucking world of wrestling, can you? So, yeah, a shitty double count out. The next match, Brodus Clay. Talk about a retard. Defeating Drew McIntyre. You know, he's giving Drew McIntyre all these unrealistic suplexes like he did when he was the Funkasaurus. And then he defeats Drew McIntyre and pretends to have a good time by dancing to his own song. Somebody call my mama, somebody call my mama, dancing like a fat fucking loop or whatever. I mean, why did this guy have so much popularity? The guy fucking sucked. He wasn't convincing in the ring. And all the guy did was do like 3 or 4 moves which were unconvincing suplexes. And then at the end, he pretended to have a good time by dancing to his own song, like as if he wanted to jack off over it, you know what I mean? So, and what the fuck is this doing on a Royal Rumble pay-per-view, by the way? Should it be on something like SmackDown? You know? Why would people pay money to see this? Come on, man, retarded. The next match, CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler. And John Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis was thrown into the equation. I think he was supposed to be the special guest referee, but he wasn't. And for CM Punk standards, this was pretty disappointing. You know, CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler have the ability to pull off a really awesome match, but this match wasn't awesome. You know, it's a pay-per-view, you know, therefore you're supposed to give the fans something more better than usual, though, you know, on Raw or something, but for CM Punk match, this was something like somewhat of a disappointment. I mean, I was like, come on, when's something good going to happen? I mean, CM Punk won, but, you know, I expected that, but, you know, I'm watching this pay-per-view and I'm thinking to myself, I know CM Punk's going to win, but, you know, give us something. It's supposed to be the Royal Rumble, you know, you're supposed to be building our hypes up for the Royal Rumble match, but that didn't happen. And in the Royal Rumble match, excuse me, my cold's terrible. Sheamus, fella, wins the 2012 Royal Rumble, and why should I be so impressed by this? I wasn't, you know. I mean, I was a massive fan of Sheamus when he first made his debut on Raw. He was a badass where he powerbombed Jamie Noble, ended his career. I loved him when he made a mockery out of John Cena, you know, beating him for the WWE title by pushing him through a fucking table. I loved Sheamus when he was a fucking heel. The second he became babyface and challenged Mark Henry on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, my interest and support for him went straight out the fucking window. If Sheamus would have won this Royal Rumble as a heel, it would have been a little bit fun. But now he's a babyface, and this indicates that he's either going to go after Daniel Bryan or who was the other champ, Chris Jericho or CM Punk, I believe. But we all know what a mockery that was at that WrestleMania, where he won the title in like 5 seconds, doing the fucking bro kick to Daniel Bryan, you know. What a fucking waste of a title match, you know. And all the retards who were fans were loving it, going, yeah! You know, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are you cheering about? You know, that was a waste of a championship quality match, you know, but the Royal Rumble itself, it was so corny, it was so fucking childish. I mean, come on, man, it was so... And talk about desperate measures, they had to have all 3 announcers at ringside to take part in this match. Michael Cole took part, and so did the other announcers, and it was nice to see Road Dogg. He made a special appearance in this Rumble. It was nice to see him, an old Attitude Era legend. Mick Foley took part in the Royal Rumble, but fucking hell, what a role he had in the Royal Rumble. He had a fucking test of strength with Santino Marella, Mr. Socko versus the Cobra. He's there combining hands with Santino, and he's like pretending to have a test of strength. And I'm like, fuck me, man, Mick Foley, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, you remember I've created some awesome moments at the Royal Rumble. I mean, one Royal Rumble you appeared 3 times. One as Mankind, one as Doodle, and one as Cactus Jack. At Royal Rumble 2000, you took part in a barbaric street fight that we can all remember with Triple H. So what the fuck are you doing in the Royal Rumble 2012? Having a test of strength with a fucking sock? I mean, come on, man. Think about your image. You know? We also get Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho! And I've got to tell you, it was nice to see this guy, but he had more of a bigger pop than most of the other superstars in this Royal Rumble put together. You know, and it's pretty sad when people are cheering and they want Axel Jim Duggan to win the Royal Rumble, you know, more than any other superstar participating. You know, but it was so corny, it was so childish, it was a fucking drag. Can I honestly say I enjoyed anything about this pay-per-view? The cage match sucked. We had a 50-minute propaganda shoving down our throat John Cena commercial. We had a piss break 4-on-4 Diva tag match. Kane versus Cena in a double count-out where they're wasting Kane. Brodus Clay and Drew McIntyre and CM Punk and Dolph Ziggler putting on a plain match. And then you get this childish Royal Rumble match, you know, where... What can I say, everybody? It was PG. You know, so you're going to see childish shit. You're going to see full-grown men having a test of strength with some socks. You know, you're going to see a guy who's pushed as a babyface win the Royal Rumble. You know, like Sheamus. But, like I said, if Sheamus was a heel, it would have been a little bit more fun. But, you know, after watching this Royal Rumble, it just reminds me why I took such a hiatus from wrestling at the time. It just reminds me why I no longer wanted to watch wrestling anymore. It was so embarrassing just to show yourself in the fucking shops, you know what I mean? You go to the fucking shops to buy some beer, you know, you're wearing, I don't know, a Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt. And then you see this woman behind the counter with big tits and she says, "Oh, I like your shirt, do you watch wrestling?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then she starts laughing and goes, "Ha! My 5-year-old son watches that." So yeah, it was one of those times when it was really awkward to be a wrestling fan, and it was really awkward to wear the merchandise, and it was so embarrassing to tell everybody around you that you was a wrestling fan during 2012, and this pay-per-view was a perfect example of it. Can you imagine what people would have thought, normal people, if they would have watched this pay-per-view, and then they looked at me, the likes of me and everybody else, thinking, what the fuck are you watching, man? I mean, are you some kind of fucking fruitcake, you know what I mean? But there's your Royal Rumble 2012 review. Glad it's over. You know, it was during the worst time of the WWE, the PG era. Thank fuck it's over. You know, hopefully we can get to some reviewing soon. Good reviews, people. Please leave your requests in the comment section below, and don't forget, make sure they get plenty of thumbs up. You know, because then it increases your chances of your option getting reviewed, basically. But thank fuck it's over. Farewell! Fuck off. Don't give a shit about babyface Sheamus winning the Royal Rumble. You know? And what was all the build-up about? Him having a 5-second match at WrestleMania for the world title? Fuck off. Autistic nonsense, garbage, trash! Peace out, everyone. Yay.